Clash of Clans podcast, special episode number 29. And I'm back with Kratos, longtime member of the House, not the House of L, but the K family. Hey, Kratos.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
And
I do gotta say one thing. Every time I hear it, it's Kratos.
Kratos. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good because I think, like, even last night we were talking about that I was going to be doing an interview with you today, and Boneyard was saying it Kratos, and then we were saying Kratos. So Kratos, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because the first time I heard it, one of my buddies actually pointed it out. He goes, it's Kratos. I go, it is not Kratos.
That's Kratos.
Yeah.
What is the name from? Is it like a...
It's actually from, I got it from God of War, the video game for PlayStation.
Okay.
But it's Greek mythology for God of War. But I just love the game, so that's where I picked it up out of.
Oh, awesome. So, okay, so people have heard about Kratos, over the past because the K family has expanded. And I don't know if you heard, just another expansion. I'm just going to put it out there because we announced it yesterday. But we have a House of L Junior now for younger players. So if you get any younger players coming over, and they're looking for like a clean place to hang out. I think like most of the time it's always good, but we always, there might be jokes and stuff. So, Kaz, is going to lead that up. So it's House of L Junior, JR. It's House of L JR, period. And you can find that. So, and so you started the Project Cadmus and you started House of Non, the farming or the exclusive farming clan. Are you guys sticking with that?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it just farming, and it's relaxed, and we just majority of the people just want to keep doing their thing and building their bases up.
Okay.
And I was actually surprised because when the wars happened, I wanted to keep it like that because obviously House of None. We didn't really want to have any wars.
Right.
So I thought we were going to lose a lot of members. And I was really surprised when we were stuck right around, I think the lowest point we got was around 36, 37 people.
And then it started to... Yeah, and we were kind of talking about that, Boneyard and I, just about how with the opt-in, opt-out thing, because Kent Farmhouse does it, they were having mandatory wars, and now they're sticking at about half the people opt into war, but just for the XP. But it's still always like a fine line, I think.
Yeah.
But, and then you also started Project Cadmus.
Yep. Me and Keaton, John Gold, started that one together. Okay.
And why did that come about? Because I know you wanted a war. Or was it I can't remember, like, what led to the creation.
Well, we got talking about it, and it was for war. And we wanted to make like a teaching war clan. So we wanted to keep the numbers around 15 to 20 so we could really focus on individual attacks.
Okay.
And so we started that one, and it's been running right from day one. Great.
That's awesome.
And it really has been. And
the big news right now is that Project Cadmus might be the future record holder for the K fam war record.
Yeah, we're starting our 15th. Well, actually 16th war. We tied our first war, and then we won the next 14 wars. And if we win the war we're starting right now, we'll have our 15 win, and that will be tying Zod for 15 in a row.
So now, Okay, have you got the matchup yet for this war, or is they're just in the process of searching?
Our my co-leader in Project Cadmus is searching, I think, right now. So I haven't seen what the matchup is.
And so, what are your guys' breakdown for Cadmus, and why is it working? And
well, we're doing straight across, regardless of town hall, regardless if you think it's too hard, too easy. Just because we want everybody to try new attacks.
okay,
And we really thought, like we thought it was gonna be a work in progress. So we thought the first couple months was going to be one of these. We'd lose quite a few, but in the long run, we'd be a lot better.
you'd get a really strong base.
Yeah, yeah, but these guys they came out of the gate just on fire. And
Swinging, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing awesome.
And so you're going straight across regardless.
Yep.
And
yep, no matter what it is.
What is your TH makeup?
Majority, I would say majority Town Hall 8s and 9s. I think right now we have 3 or 4 Town Hall 10s.
Okay.
And this war we have 3, but I think we have 4.
So you guys must have some really good XP.
Yeah, we actually, because our wars are only the most people we've had in a war is 20 versus 20. But since we haven't lost yet, we're a little over a quarter of the way through perk 4.
Okay.
While getting to perk 4.
So you are about 500?
565.
Okay.
And yep.
And we're sitting at about 810 of that, but we always have 30 minimum, usually 30. We did a kind of Matt handpicked a war this weekend, and so it was smaller, but we won. But yeah, so we get a lot of the XP even if we don't lose because we just have more people.
Right.
But that 50 really makes a difference. Depending on if you're a small clan, but you get that 50, that's like having 25 low attackers, for the most part.
Yeah. And it's, the small wars are just crazy to me, man. Because, I was used to the 35 to 45 range. And when people messed up, it wasn't a huge thing. But now when you have these 15 versus 15, I mean, one person messes up and you're stroking.
Oh man!
And, oh my goodness!
So how is it? So how is it like that first attack, like going straight across? You're people are adjusting.
Yeah. Our Town Hall 8s are killing it. I mean,
Cool.
they're I would say last 3 wars. The war before this one, they started off with 8 3-stars.
Okay.
And it was incredible. I was like, holy cow. And with this war, they
Nice.
went 6 out of 8 for 3-stars.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean and if they don't get 3, they're getting 2, and they're stellar.
And then you at least get the scout out of it, and then the next person up. So are these people's second accounts? Are they just?
We have a couple second accounts. We have I think 2 or 3 second accounts, and the rest are. Then we have people that have their first and second.
Okay.
Like my one of the co-leaders, Keaton, has John Galt also, which is his second account.
Okay. From Atlas Shrugged? Is that John Galt? Who's John Galt?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to watch
actually,
the third part.
I'll tell you, he's something else to watch. I mean,
Really?
he gets. Oh my goodness. Yeah, his attacks, like today's attack, we had, I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes left in the war, and he 2-starred. He actually got the 2 stars to win.
Nice.
He 2-starred the number 1 and number 2, and he's good for that every week. And they're not cupcake Town Hall 10s either. Like, they're pretty tough.
Okay. So are you seeing high heroes too?
Yeah. Like mid-20s this week, 30s last week. So I mean, they're up there.
Cool.
Yeah, and my heroes suck. So
what is yours sitting at? So
my heroes
let me
awful.
ask you about that, I guess. And I do want to ask you about defense. So where are you at in the game? Town Hall wise, how long have you been playing? All of that stuff.
I've been playing about a year, and I'm a Town Hall 10. I rushed the crap out of it in the beginning.
Did you?
So I did bad. So I've been eating it, trying to get it back, trying to get it to where it should be.
Okay.
And I'm slowly but surely getting there. I have 42 Legos now.
Wow.
So I'm starting to make it look better.
Very nice. I mean, I'm grinding on my walls now too a little bit.
Yeah, I have the only things I have left to max are my archer towers, my cannons, and expos.
Okay.
And my air defenses. They're going to 7 right now.
Okay.
But everything else is maxed.
All right. Yeah, and I've got 2 air D left, and then that's been my debate. And I guess I can ask you about that in a little bit. So your Town Hall, where are your heroes at?
My heroes suck. My Archer Queen is 12, and my Bard King's only 10. They suck.
That's not really that bad. I mean, for a year playing it, like my Queen is just going to 19, and my King my King will go to 20 as soon as I get my Queen up. But
now, when does it go to 7 days for your heroes?
I think it is 15, I believe. It's somewhere in there, because now it's all 7-day upgrade.
Yeah, it can't go any higher than that, right?
Right. And I think that was different before. Like when they first started, it would go longer, I thought. It was like 12. Maybe not. Maybe that's what I thought at the time. And, the heroes have changed so much, and what they did, and, what their place in the war is in terms of, before they could be lured, they didn't have the ability that, the rage ability or the invisibility that the Queen had. And so, like, right when they came out, they were cool, but the importance didn't seem to be there for me. So now that's kind of the new frontier for me in the game is working on my heroes, because I'm just constantly farming for Dark Elixir now.
Yeah.
So
that's where I'm seeing the hardest in the wars we have. My heroes are just too low for some of these guys we're going against.
Yeah.
I have to find an excuse somewhere, so that's what I'm going to say.
Well, it is, because, now it's like you're seeing those higher heroes like more often, and they make a huge difference in the wars. I mean, like, we're matching up, and the first thing I do when we get a matchup is I go look at my opposite, and I just hope that they're not maxed out heroes.
Yeah. I heard you guys had some 40 heroes the other week, right?
Yeah.
A few of them.
Yeah. Usually I would say probably out of the last 10 wars, usually at least 1 or 2 bases have maxed heroes. And
Wow.
And that one war we had 10 maxed hero bases.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I finished my all my Dark Elixir troops. I did a bunch of pushing for a while, so I kind of got taken out of that. But then I started finding a lot of that Dark Elixir up in the Masters range, and realizing, wow, I can get these heroes going much faster by working it this way. But you're pushing now.
Yep.
And you're going for champ.
Yeah, it's the first time I'll ever hit champ if I get to it.
Okay.
About 5 minutes before I started talking to you, I got 49% on this base, and I lost 30 trophies. I was so pissed off.
Where are you at? Like,
oh my gosh.
Where are you at in trophies right now?
Well, I'm at 30-38, and that's after losing 30.
Okay.
So I had 30-68, and I just lost 30 trophies.
Wow. What are you what are you pushing with? What army?
I'm using my army comp. I'm using 16 giants, 4 Velks, 12 wizards, 8 wall breakers, 5 hogs, and 26 archers.
Okay.
It's a weird one, but I've always liked to use the giants. Well, I like to use them against the single. The only bases I'll attack up here with my giant army is if they're single infernos, and if it's single on one side and multi on the other, I'll try to take out the multi side first because they just do, awesome job against the single infernos.
Yeah, because I have to, the single hits them, and then it takes a little bit, and then it takes a bit to switch, and so you can make some progress. Are they max giants?
Yep. Yeah.
I found because I've been running until I realized how expensive the army was. And I was really going for Dark Elixir, and I was using the 14 giants, 12 Velks.
Wow.
And then the
rest.
rest.
I thought about doing that today. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
I really thought about that. Because I was looking at my army comp, and I'm like, these Velks are freaking vicious.
Yeah.
My Velks are only level 3, but I have my level 4s cooking right now, and I have 9 days and 22 hours till they're done. But using the rage and the jump when they get in there, if they don't, the only problem is, I'm sure this happens to a lot of people. When I don't funnel them to the middle, they just clear all the outside stuff and get smashed. But when you get them in the middle, they're awesome.
Yeah, if you can throw them right into the middle, you can. It's a very precision attack when you are using the Velk Giant, and I like it because I like using it in war actually a lot, especially when it's like a really high base that I know that I might be able to throw a pig dog army at it, or I might be able to go wee it, or do a go wipe. But the max heroes are so high that all I really want is to get that XP on one of the high bases at a star. And if I can get those pointed at the middle, I don't need to rely on my queen or my heroes with it. So it ends up being an army I can use when my queen is down. But I don't know if I would, to push with it, I'm not sure if I would use it so much, I guess. I mean, I like it. And I did push up into Masters 1 with it, but then I switched to the pig dogs, the quad dogs, because I wasn't getting enough loot. Like, I can go in and take the elixir or the dark elixir really easy and take the town hall and get the star, but I wasn't getting necessarily like all of the elixir and the gold.
Right.
It's a really targeted precision. You want to get them to the middle, you want to get that out. So if you've got your loot or your storages spread out, it's not a guarantee you're going to take it. And when you're pushing, it gets expensive.
Have you tried the cold-blooded attack at all in a war?
What is that? It's because I know that somebody was saying that in chat. It's the cold-blooded is like what, 2 golems, or is it?
I think it's when they use a golem and a kill squad, take out the archer queen, and then what I saw somebody do it with a golem, kill squad. So they had 2 witches, some wizards, and archers. And they dropped both their heroes behind that, so they had their little kill squad there. And they took out the archer queen and 1 air defense, and then they just sent their lava hounds and balloons like normal on the other ones. But it was awesome to watch.
I practiced that when I was over warring with SOAS. I did try it out. I didn't try it out in maybe. I did try it out in war and it got smashed.
Yeah, I haven't got it down either. I did it one time.
Yeah, in fact, I went up against this base that I thought, oh, I can get my golem in there. I jumped the golem in, and I thought, well, my king will be right behind it, and I don't know if my queen wasn't down yet. So I jumped it in, and the wizards came out and they just killed me on this attack. They killed me, and so I copied that base because I think there were 3 or 4 of us that went up against it.
Oh,
and I was like, this base looks like it should be relatively straightforward.
does that suck?
Yeah. And I thought, I'm going to just normally I'm like, I want to like figure out my own base and, I want to make it work. And I'm like, no, I need to eat up more defenses on, in our wars, even if I can, like a max hero attack, I'd pretty much, they could 2-star me. And then the rest of the time it would be sometimes more often now it was 2, but I thought this base, if I could just squeeze out one attack, like one loss out of it, because they could go in and get for sure like a 1-star if they sent in a really, good army and they were strong troops. You could take the 50% at least. But I'm like, if I could just eat one attack, I've got a strong camp. We're going up against these other things. I do have lower heroes. But the setup, so I tried it and I got a 1-star last war, but I put it as my farming push base too. And people just don't smash it. And so I'm really happy with it where it's at. And I'm like, I'm going to start doing that. And I was telling Boneyard also that, if I look at these bases, like there's one across from me that, I'm going to hit in the war, and it's a really tough base. And these guys are, good players. They won a lot of wars. I'm just going to copy their base and put it as my base and see how they attack me to put a star on it.
That's a really good idea.
Well, yeah, I just think, you see like this. So this one guy, he 3-starred Matt, the one word, the Phantom Warlord, which was unbelievable because Matt's higher. Yeah, but he did.
When was that?
This was like last week, I think, and I came in.
That's crazy. He's got a really good base.
Yeah, he does. And the guy, what he did is he jumped in, smashed because he had high heroes, so he smashed like a quarter of the base with his heroes. Maybe it was the clan castle too. I don't remember, but it was just a really, really good attack. Like the timing was good. It was really unbelievable. And I thought some of the bases, like that base that I hit in that war, if I would have put up that base, during that time, I could have saw the other side show their weaknesses in it. So that's going to be my new thing is I'm not going to be so attached to bases, and I'm going to try to play around and find those bases that are really good. And, if they eat a couple of our attacks, then I'll switch it up and just have a few on deck. And then I could always go back and use mine.
I thought I actually, I made my base up because I was, I would go around and try to find some bases and modify them a little bit, but it just wasn't enough modification to where people haven't seen them before. So I just made my own base up, and it's like a modified tic-tac-toe one, but a little heavier on the edges.
Okay.
So it was doing great. Like Masters, when I started pushing, I actually didn't see crystal. When I put my everything on the inside.
Nice.
I actually went because I was farming in gold. I think it was gold too, and I actually did not see crystal one time, and I didn't see Masters 3 either. I actually skipped all of them, all the way up to Masters 2, and so I was like, wow, I was like, this base is awesome. Then all of a sudden in Masters 2, it got destroyed like 5 times in a row. like 50%. So enough to where I'm like, okay, I gotta change this around a little bit. I still haven't changed it around. I just put my town hall on the outside and everything, and I do a different one when I get off, and I'm only getting hit for a little bit, like 6 to 9 cups. So
Yeah, and that's
not that bad.
And I think you'll find like there's those zones too, where people will just come and take it, or they won't. But I would get hit like pushing. I'd get hit harder when I was pushing with the base similar to the one that I use for war. And now people are just taking my town hall and going, and I'm not so worried, like, because I'm sitting on like 5 million, almost 6 million gold, I think, right now. So,
have you noticed I'm sorry. Have you noticed in the game? I mean, I've only been playing about a year, but like the first probably 4 or 5 months, it seemed like people would try to beat the entire base, no matter if your town hall was on the outside or not. But it seems as though, like lately, when like people are playing more by the rules of Clash of Clans, where when the town hall is on the outside, it's not trapped or you're not being a dick or anything like that. People just hit the town hall and leave. Like for the last probably 3-4 months or so, it seems like people are playing it a lot differently. Like when there's a town hall on the outside, they just hit it. Like I've just heard people talk about it more and everything too.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you've seen that more now than you did in the past, or.
I want to say yes. But it's a good question, because I think back to it, and I don't know how much of it I paid attention to it, but at the same time, I think part of it might be, and you can hear the dogs in the background for a minute.
Yeah.
You can, at the same time, oh God. At least they're not a cat.
I was just gonna say the same thing, man.
Yeah. I wonder how much of it is the league, like where we have been sitting, because those bonuses. So I resurrected Xace, and I've had my town hall out, and it seemed like before he would get hit, but people would roll over his base, and now they're taking it and going. But the bonus, the league bonus down there, like, and I think it's in Crystal too. I mean, because I haven't played him for months, and so the town hall's just been outside. People come take it, and he just keeps dropping trophies. But the bonus down there is only like 3,000,
right,
or 6,000. But when we start to get up into Crystal and then the leagues, like the higher leagues like Master, it is much better to just take that town hall and go and get those trophies, because you don't know what you're going to get in your next raid with the push. Plus
that's a really good point.
Plus you get that, on Masters 3, you get $100,000 or 100,000 gold elixir and 500 dark elixir, I believe it is. And so that's like a lot of free money. That's a lot of free necks, for the gold. And then if you hit a base with the town hall inside, you hope to take it. And it's just, you might get the town hall, but you might not get all the loot or something like that. You might just hit the 50% and miss a bunch. So I don't know. I want to say yeah, though, because I've heard more people talk about it. And I think when Boaz was first bringing it up in the podcast, like about trapping THs and things like that, it's not something I had thought about before then, but it seems like now that I'm paying attention, there's a definite shift. And yeah,
just because you brought it up, I was I think it was the last war I was with L before I went over to Buy Forever to help rig out for a little while.
Oh, cool.
But I had my son a Kratos account over in L for a couple wars with it. And the war before the last one, I actually got attacked 8 times. The Phantom Warlord put it up, and I didn't know because I ended up leaving before the war ended.
Oh,
but he
nice.
put it up online, and I'm like, holy cow. And that's only a Town Hall 8. but I got hit 8 times. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and I think that's and that's what I wanted to ask you about with the defenses and like in Cadmus. Are you guys working on your war bases, or are you guys spending time critiquing war bases? Because I think I think it can be a forgotten part of war in a sense. It's like, you do have your bases. People try them out. We don't really say this or.
I know we are. I know a lot of people are trying to keep it so they're not. Like like when somebody goes to Town Hall 9, they're not putting an expo on the map right away anymore.
Okay.
Because they're trying not to skew that too much, and they're trying to do like their heroes and their walls, and so I think there's more information coming out about the algorithm every day, so we're trying to figure it out a little more.
Okay.
But the matchups have been they haven't been like lopsided, but they've been almost dead even almost every time. We haven't had ever since they did the perks. I mean, that's when we started the Project Cadmus.
Perfect timing.
But yeah, yeah. But we haven't had any bad matchups. I mean, we won by 2, we've won by 1. We haven't really had any that were crazy. It's just they're great matchups.
What do you know about the war algorithm?
I don't know anything about
it. Because yeah, I
basically know what I hear, man. I basically just listen to everybody, just all the guys on the podcast and try to follow it a little bit and see if it works. But I've heard more than a couple people say the heroes and the walls don't skew the war matchup as much, so might as well try it and see.
Yeah, oh man, I've been thinking a lot about that because Clan Wars started, and I'm trying to think about it in like the context and like the history, but like I was saying about heroes not as good as they are now at first, although the Queen she's really a glorified wall breaker, it seems like during the battles.
Have you seen people trying to? I'm sorry.
No.
Have you seen people trying to make a comeback with using all healers with the archers? You know how they used to do that more. With the archers. Queens?
I've been hearing stuff about it. I've
seen it now more and more, and I'm wondering because I know for a little while it was really hard to do because how they changed the queen around a little bit. But I've been seeing it and hearing about it more and more, and I was just curious if you've actually seen it.
Do you
done in a wolf?
Do you mean like at the very end they put the healers out with a queen, or is that part of the?
No, like people will put like 10 healers on a queen
and just send her in.
Yeah,
I think it was someone shared a replay a while ago, and it was a really high queen and heroes.
I mean, it was max queen, but
and yeah, she just walked around shooting everything, and it was really cool. Botox in the war I was in SOAS, he had a queen, in his attack, I can't remember why it fell apart. I think it was
I don't think it was like 10 healers. I just want to correct that. I think it was like 4, but I'm just...
But yeah, you could. I mean, you could, and I think with those max heroes, the higher heroes, the more you're going to have to put on her. And I've played around with taking 3 healers in to like a regular battle. But Botox, what happened, he had his healers out there, and he was attacking a TH8, and some happened where the attack started falling apart. But that healer locked onto the king, and basically, it was the king or the queen, basically gave him another hero, because if that king would have walked into the line of fire, and you were hoping they were going to hit the town hall, but they went the wrong way. But by the time the queen or the king got back into the battle, it was fully healed.
Wow.
And so I think there's a really good place for that. And I've been battling with Exace today, just doing raids. And instead of taking 2, instead of having to use my heal spells and I'm using giants and barbs and archers, if I just put two of the two healers on that thing of giants, and I can not send them in until they get past an air D, and have some time, then they're doing really well. I think that I think we're going to see more of it for sure.
Yeah, because it was weird. I've got, I personally have got hit by 2 of them in the last 3 days, and I heard it used to happen more often, but I don't know what they did with the hero that changed that. But so I've got hit twice with Archer Queen with, I would say, at least 3 healers, maybe 4.
Okay.
On her, and she did really good.
Yeah.
Because she stayed at a distance to where she was hitting that air defense. And if it took out a healer, they'd throw another healer on her, and she did pretty good.
That might be a really good sacrifice for like a pig dog army. You go in, you send in your loons and everything, and then you kind of, with those a lot of times. Now, like you were talking about with like the cold-blooded, you jump you use the heroes up front, and that was like their attack on Matt. And I'm seeing that more, it seems like, where they're using their heroes and spending them out first.
Instead of waiting to take that town hall out.
Yeah, and so they're doing something that was completely opposite of how I would look at it. But if you could hold back on that queen on an attack like that, or a king, send him in with the healers late in the game, most of those air defenses and things that you were really targeting with the quad dog attack, you would be taken out. And so I could see that pushing it over the top, but that's a lot of CC space. Which is always like I think the real kicker, because there's so much there's only so much in a war, and so I see like guys like Sasquatch and Bazinga, in Mystic when he's in the clan, and these Town Hall 9s that are going in and trying and really knowing their CC space, and like. I think it was Baz was sending in. He was doing that with golems. I think last war he did 2 golems, went in right at the queen. He didn't use a jump, but he sent in the heroes right behind them with a couple wizards, and took it out. But then used the pig lava loon for the rest.
Yeah, speaking of the troop space, I just hit the spot that there's been a lot of talk about with the Town Hall 8s, because I'm getting up to the point to where I'm a pretty high Town Hall 8, that I had to switch from dragons because of the the air defense 6 and
right.
all that stuff, sort of making it a little tougher with it, and so I switched to Go Wipe for my Town Hall 8. And it's crazy, man, because I'm so used to using my TH10.
Oh, yeah, because in the war you were doing that.
It would have been easier if I had no idea how to do it with my TH10. Because going to the TH8, after using that, it's like, holy cow, without my jump spells and without the extra 40.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. But, and I start to think about it because... we were talking about the Velk, we were talking about the jump combo, or like the cold-blooded. But I found with the Velks, so what I've done in a couple attacks is, and this is in the wild, as Mailman would say too, like in the wild, is I send in my giants right at the queen, and then I clear off some stuff with the wizards, and then I'll send the Velks in right behind the giants and at the queen, because the queen, and then with a heal on them, so that they're far enough away that the infernos aren't on them yet. Heal them while the queen's shooting at them, but as soon as those Velks sense those heroes, they go in and like they're if you kind of look at it, it reminds me a lot of like killer bees.
So funny, man. I wish I could do this replay of this war attack I did today, because my Velks just, everybody commented on them because they just ran across like quarter of the screen after after a hero.
Yeah,
they're screwing my attack. But I mean, these 4 Velks you just seen, because they were rage too, because they had a rage on some other troops and they ran through that.
Oh,
and you just see these 4 redheaded Velks.
Yeah, the 4 gingers are slicing and dicing.
Yeah.
And so if you send those in at the heroes, and that's why it's good if there's like centralized heroes, or if you know the queen is going to step into the middle when you send the stuff in. But I'll use 2 heals, a rage, a freeze, and a jump, and that's just it's just basically like an alien. You know, get in that one compartment, get the Velks in behind it, jump into the center of wherever that's at, and then I wait and freeze the farthest inferno, because they'll take out that stuff and way quicker with the heavy giants and the Velks, and then if you can, heal them while that other inferno's going. But by the time they get there, and somebody else was in the clan, and I said too, you can freeze or you can heal like a giant Velk wizard army under infernos, because they're holding. So if I've got 12 giants in there, or 14 giants, only 5 of them are being hit. You know, and so I can throw it on top of that. So when the other ones come out of that, or those 5 die, the other ones are healed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I was using, for this push, I used 2 rage, 2 heal, and a jump. And that's because they're getting hit by so many other things also.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I'm like, I'm not going to use the heals because these infernos, it doesn't work with them. But like you said, those heals, it's as soon as they die, you just see their level like boom. And even though the giants, because they have so many hit points. Well, they have a lot of hit points.
They do. And under those multis, they walk around, like if you just kind of watch them, they hold those in multis for a long time before they die. The level 7s, at least, and then you throw some strong high hit point Velks in there with them too. Like all of a sudden, I'm just not afraid of infernos anymore, because they will damage that stuff.
I've also been using Velks to take out the CCs. Like I'll lure the CC. If it's a wizard and archers. The witch it doesn't work that great with, because obviously the witch always stays back. But if I've been luring the witches, the wizards and the archers over, and I'll just drop a Velk right in the middle of them, and you'll just see a poof. It's awesome.
She does some damage. And I forgot about that, because I was going into war with that giant Velk army, and I was taking a kill squad CC, and I've been luring lately because I think it gives you the edge in the attack. And if you take the 2 witch, 2 wizard, 3 barb in, it can hold like the witch and the wizards. But I saw a couple people dropping a Velk in there too. And I'm like, well, I've already got them. It actually kind of gives you a little bit more space to slice them up, but take some heat off those witches that you've just dropped too. And so, yeah. And when they come out of the CC too, that's always like, oh, this could go really bad, because they're powerful. The defensive CC.
They're awesome to watch on, like, if you give them the Town Hall 6 and 7s, because we'll have we'll have a guy or two come over. Like we've had some people over in Nunn that have never warred before. Like we'll have some really low town halls.
Oh wow.
And so they'll say something about wanting to do a war, and I'm like, absolutely, come over, and they'll be Town Hall 5 or 6. And
wow.
It's so funny to throw a Velk in there.
Nice.
Because, they'll be matched up to another Town Hall 5 or so. And it's crazy because they'll have to use probably more than that to take out that Velk over in the corner.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
they can really shove a wrench in things, and I think that makes a good case too for varying up the CCs in your clan. I don't know how you guys do it in Cadmus when you're warring, but do you have a standard?
um, if somebody just puts give me what you got, which we usually discourage because we want people to be sort of specific with it.
Yeah,
Um, but if somebody doesn't care, we'll do witches and wizards just because
that's a pretty
they're not.
safe.
Yeah. But I actually picked it up from you guys a while back. I started putting one balloon in my clan castle, and that's been working great. I do a Velk, a balloon, 3 or 4 wizards, and 2 minions, and the rest archers.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it works. I mean, that works really good too. But yeah, we don't really have a set standard to every clan castle, just because we don't want to be too cookie cutter with it.
Well, and I think it makes it really predictable.
Yeah,
Not this last weekend war, but because I opted out because my queen was down, and 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 I was just like, and other people were opting out, so we did a smaller war. But I knew that every one of those bases was going to have a couple minions in there.
yeah,
They're all going to have a witch and like 2 wizards. So they had a standard, and I could see that all coming. So, but then you'd see in some attacks people going in other wars, and a dragon pops out, and you're like, oh, I was not prepared to handle a
yeah.
dragon.
Those have screwed me lately. Like if I do if I do a Laloon or something, and it's almost like I forgot about them.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, I did not prepare for this dragon.
Yeah, you're like, oh god, I don't have it's like the minions. Like, well, how am I even going to do this? So I might even been when I was with SOAS warring that I saw that happen, and just looking at a base, going, I think I can take that base, but it's all going to depend on that dragon. I did do some good lures. I don't know who had mentioned it, but a dragon. I lure with the giant now, because the giant, instead of taking 3 hogs, I can do way better with 2 giants, because they'll get up to the wall and hang out long enough. But then that kill squad CC, if you can send it in and then maybe send a giant in just in case ahead of it, the witch gives enough space that you can take the drag down on those bigger bases. But it's a good like backup plan. Like that type of CC can handle pretty much anything. But yeah, if you get the Velks out there, I mean, it can be rough.
Yeah.
So you guys don't really work necessarily on beefing up or really like crafting your defense, your war defenses.
No, no, not really. We just we talk about it. Like our biggest thing, the only mandatory things we have in Cadmus is you have to talk out your attacks. Like
Okay.
even like me and Arg, Cruel, and Keaton, we have to talk out our attacks. And even if we know like it's a simple attack, we want everybody to see why we're doing it. Like we want to explain why we're doing the attack from this way.
Oh,
And
that's a really
yeah,
good way to be like proactive and demonstrate, but also teach them, people who aren't at that level, maybe necessarily, like if you're TH10, or if the person in the clan's a TH8, you still get the same principles.
yeah. And it's really cool because like you'll see how it was planned and it'll seem like a great plan, but it also shows when something happens how it screws that thing all the way up, and just the execution. Like, if you're doing is it a goho? Yeah,
Uh,
if you're doing like a goho, or was that what it is?
yeah,
Or a
there's a
whole,
bunch of them. Go
yeah.
Halloween.
And like if you're not leading with the heals and if you put the heel 2 seconds late, it's over, and it's just it's cool to see the whole plan, and then you watch it and you realize this is what went wrong, rather than, hey, I wonder what happened. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you've seen the plan beforehand and you knew what he was gonna do, but then you've seen it executed and you're like, okay, this is exactly what went wrong, so it helps everybody just figure out how to fix what they're doing also.
Yeah, and I've been trying to be more like aware of that when I'm attacking lately in a wars. I say here's what I'm thinking about doing. And of course there's a lot of like last minute attacks because being like the TH10. But first of all, you feel a lot better about it when things go bad because you're like, the plan was work. We all talked about this, or I said, what about this? You voiced this concern, and then it goes right, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. But then if I talk it through and it doesn't work, I come back and I'm like, okay, look, I did think about this, as I did it. But but that's a really good way to look at it in terms of being a leader and having people learn. And I think that especially it's got to be good in a smaller clan, of 20. But we've got some great guys. We started doing the Battle Axe Award this week.
I heard that.
Yeah, it was cool. I thought that was just such a great idea, and you really starting to see people. I think it's a cool way to look at it, and we've got people in the clan who are really starting to work through attacks, break things down, and so the winners this week, I think I shouted them out last night. But DJ 007 got the first one. RM _84 got the second, and then Low just got the Battle Axe Award for this weekend war that we just did. So it was cool.
Is there?
Oh, sorry. What's that?
Is there? Are you guys giving prizes, or I was just
not yet. I think that's coming. And
like
maybe
$50 iTunes cards.
Yeah, God, that would be nice. I'm like, I think it'd be really cool to be able to do that, for each thing, and then the person hands it off to the person that they think did the best. And I've been really working on the website, so I'm putting them up there, and then they go in the clan description. When they're announced, like Nat was saying, and I just think, what a cool way to like reward people for great attacks.
I saw how you had like the winner of the push with Kent Farmhouse. I thought that was cool how you had the trophy next to it.
Yeah, like on the website there.
Yep.
Yeah. I just put a little thing in there, and Boneyard made a comment about that. Yesterday, and I'm like, no, they're the holder of the cup until the next tournament. And then it'll be passed. And I'm really working on that site actually, and I'm going to get you access to it. So if you want to do, I don't know if you guys have a page yet or not.
I actually, I talked to Boneyard briefly about it. That would be awesome. To be able to just write to the descriptions and what Cadmus and None are for, and for people to come on and just check that out.
Yeah, like, and if you want to, like, I told Boneyard, I said I'm working on because I have to like think about boneyarding the rules, and I told him yesterday, and I don't know if this was on the air. I think we were talking about it beforehand, but I was like, I'll do anything I'll put up anything you want me to put up right now, but I need to just get the access so that you can only edit that page. Because he's like, because you'll come back and you'll see.
Laughing because I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it too. Like, I come back and there's L's homepage, and Boneyard's done a bunch of things to it. So I'm like, okay, I just got to make sure I can get you access. But in the meantime, and he actually said, you know what, I totally would use that page to say, okay, here's what we're doing for this war. You can change things up. You can put whatever you want, your description, anything like that. And Kent actually has an outside page, and I just linked to that. But and so your badges will be up. I was just testing out the badge images by Psychotic T. They're just fantastic for. I don't think you've seen Cadmus yet.
No, I have not.
Yeah, he took all of the our clan badges that we've picked, that we have for it, and he adapted them all with Kryptonian writing underneath of each of the things. So it's really pretty cool. But
with those, are we going to be able to make some kind of T-shirts and stuff like that too?
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, he's got the files ready to send me. I just have to set up a Dropbox. But they'll be ready to go, and they're just awesome T-shirts, and that'd be something that'd be cool to give away for the Battle Axe, or to send those out. And but yeah, I think we'll do that with the pages. I just didn't think people would use them for more than a description. I mean, that's fine. That's, do whatever you want with it, but it'd be cool to see how each of the clans use them a little bit, because you only get so many characters for each of the clan mails you send out, which is kind of a bummer. And 12 hours.
Yeah.
I think they should shorten that to 6 at least.
Yeah, that's even if they made it a perk, like at perk 1, just something like that. It'd be awesome if they did that. It drives me crazy having to, if you want something you have to say, then having to get a hold of somebody, be like, hey, can you write this for me?
Yeah, I know. I just did that today. I was like, I sent one out saying, congrats, Low, I think, and good job on the war, L, because I wasn't in it. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot. I'd like to send out something about, let's work on our war bases today. Or, and then if something was like, hey, check your opt-in, check your opt-out button. I had Mailman put that up. And it's just like, a 3-hour time limit would be amazing.
Or in the replays, I don't understand why they have that set to where you can't show another replay within, what is it, half an hour? You can only show a replay for half an hour. Because I'll use it as something funny where I screwed something up, and then I'll find a real one, and I'll want to show it, and I have to wait half an hour. I'm like, really?
Yeah, and that's... see, I think some of those things are kind of leftovers from pre-Clan War days, pre-Clan XP, and I think you nailed it. That would be the best way to do it. Would be Clan XP could, as a perk, like a level 1 or level 2 perk, to say, okay, here you can do these clan mails. I think that's a leftover from the old days before Clan Wars. I think the revenge is not getting bonuses for revenge.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Yeah, because there was a couple times I went in there and did it, and I'm like, oh, I can send this, I'll get my bonus. Nope. And, you're struggling for elixir, and it makes it more worthwhile to do it in regular wars.
Because I actually the first time I did it, I got on somebody had some kind of mod where I didn't get, and people were like, "What?"
Oh, sorry, you cut out right there. What did you say?
The first time I revenged somebody, and I didn't get my bonuses. I'm like, somebody has a mod or this or that. I didn't get my bonus. People were like, "Really? You don't get a bonus?" I'm like, never mind. I'm an idiot.
I know that feeling, because I felt like a complete moron when I sent it in. I'm like, oh, you trapped? And I sent my stuff in. Or maybe it wasn't even a trapped one. It was like, I went in for it, and I thought, oh, well, I'll make up for it in the bonus as long as I get half of this base or something like that. But I think that needs to be changed a little bit. What do you see as coming in the game? Because I'm guessing we're about 2 weeks away from an update, if I had to guess.
It's hard. It's hard for me to really think of something new, because I've heard so many ideas.
Yeah.
About the Town Hall 11s, and about 10 or 11 coming out, or um, but I really do think, I know people have said it 100 times, but because of the walls, I really do see another wall breaker, and
Yeah.
another wall breaker, and I mean, I would think a goblin too, right?
Yeah, a goblin
I
would
mean,
be.
because the rest are 7. I mean, the giant 7, archer 7.
I think a level 5 Velk would be cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You know, and I listened to the SOAS guys, and I think they brought up a really good point about X-bows being really weak.
Yeah,
If you look at
yeah,
it, like I didn't realize how weak they actually were, and how much fear I gave to them as something. It's really because of the range, but they're less than the archer tower, and so I think an X-bow level 4 is coming.
yeah. I just won 19 trophies, man.
Nice.
I got off and I just saw I was getting attacked. Sorry.
Oh
I just
no!
got
Oh, you
19
got
trophies.
defensive trophies.
Yeah,
Oh, those are the best too, because you're like,
yeah,
ooh, those. I don't have to do anything for that.
yeah. Almost makes up for my crap 49% earlier.
Oh, it's nothing worse when you're getting close to champ. You know, especially that's the cutthroat region right there between
Now, what's
3,000 and 3,200.
what's the highest trophy count you got up to?
24-25 in this last
30,
push.
34,
Or
25?
34-25, yeah.
Okay.
And I could really respect people like Coop just hit his highest. I think he was like 3650 or something.
Wow.
But it gets to be like super low trophy counts at that point. Nat hit 3,600 during the push. But once I hit 3,400, it was like, it was starting to get like, okay, you always have to be very picky, but it was like a difference of picky, like there's only 11 trophies possible, so I'm only going to get 5. And so it's going to really slow down how long it takes to climb.
Right. Yeah, I still can't. I know people do it by just sniping, but it still blows my mind how these Town Hall 4 and 5s, like after actually sitting here the last few days or week trying to push up the champs, I mean, it blows my mind they're able to do that.
Yeah, that has to be like,
I mean,
first
they
of all,
spend so much time.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have to be spending so much time not being able to log off. I think the huge problem would be the loot. I mean, sure they might get the snipes, but the amount of loot it would take to find them at certain places in the game can be really tough. And I don't know like where their pumps and mines are at, like in terms of how much they're collecting. But, if you're not, it's expensive. It's expensive to push. So, but, oh man, is it fun when you get to find one of the low THs when you're up pushing? Because you're like, Nat calls it the golden unicorn?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she, you find something, you're just like, oh, this is going to be fun. I didn't even have to use spells. It's just like, oh. And I just, my competitive streak comes out. And those moments, I'm like, yes, I'm going to wash terror all over this village.
Yeah.
Just like, yes, just to wreck something.
I did want to break down real quick, just in Project Cadmus, we have the way we break it down for our co-leaders is they each have like their own positions that they look over.
Oh, cool.
Like Arg, he has Arg and Addicted, and he looks over our Town Hall 8s and below, and he's really good with those attacks. Like he's really really good at those attacks.
So what level is he? Is he higher TH?
Nope. He's actually he is just he might have just gotten into Town Hall 9 today.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he just got into Town Hall 9 today, and he's level 89.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
So
yeah,
he's supervising the TH8s.
yep.
And then
Yeah.
how does your other co-leaders, what did they?
And we have Cruel. He was actually in the True Sons, and then he was the first co-leader in Zod during
Yep.
the Al Zod War.
Yep, I remember Cruel.
And he works third shift, so it's perfect because he's like the night supervisor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he works. He does a lot of work there too. And Keaton and John Galt, same person, but him and I just help with everything else. And he's like I said before, it's crazy to watch him attack.
That's
Like
awesome.
his Town Hall 9. I mean, I can't remember the last time he didn't get 6 stars on the Town Hall 9s. Like when he's not on, it doesn't matter. I'm like, well, we can always just count 6 stars because the guy does not mess them up. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and then, so do you just have the 4 co-leaders? Or like, well, your leader, and then 3
Yeah.
co-leaders?
Yep. Yep. There's me, Keaton, Cruel, and Arg. And then we have some elders. Can I give them a quick shout out?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We have Tull, doing awesome. We have Iron Fletch, who it was really cool because he actually made some witches, just to go over to the Buy Forever clan to give them some witches during war, which was really cool of him to do yesterday. And
Oh,
then
cool.
we have RMT 328 and DRT YFN. It stands for something, man. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then we have Sitzes, who's he's a really, really good attacker too. I mean, all of our town, basically everybody in there they're really fun to watch,
That's cool.
and they're really helpful guys. We've had a boot actually, quite a few people. Like we had I'm not gonna give the names or anything, but we had somebody there that was from a really well-known clan, and he was a beast, like attacker. Like he knew his crap, but he just didn't fit well with everybody. So we're looking for people to fit more and want to help and see the growth of the clan more than people that are like great at attacking and sort of
That's
look down on everybody.
that's the worst part about the game is people, having to boot people, or if people are around and they just don't quite mesh with the clan, especially if you've got a bunch of people who have been around for a long time, and there's a really good sense of how things are done and things like that. And it's like, oh, it's a bummer. But what is your criteria on booting? Is it just they just don't quite fit, or is it?
The biggest reason is because of people not talking about their attacks.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest thing for it. And we'll give people chances with it. Like we'll tell somebody, look, man, you just gotta talk about your attack, and you gotta at least go over it a little bit, even if it's rush, we still want to know they're going in or who they're
Yeah.
looking at. I mean, it's always straight across, but it's still nice to know what's going on.
To be like, hey, I'm going to attack this base with dragons. Any suggestions? I mean, even if it's
Yeah,
not like I'm going to work through it, just say I would come from, so somebody could say, I'd come through from this way, because sometimes in those replays you go, oh, this could easily have been avoided by doing
yeah,
something different.
yeah, and yeah, like that's all. That's the only criteria we really have with the people. Like we just ask them to give um their ideas out and just try to help people. And like the group of people we have now it's really, we all have the same goal, and it's just to try to help everybody.
That's cool.
And don't take offense to anything, because
It's meant in the
criticism.
spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only time we really have a hard time is when somebody's talking down to somebody about the attack more than trying to help them out through it.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. And I think in L we were getting just a little bit more strict on the war attacks. Okay, you have to get your stuff in, or if you didn't follow directions, we're just starting to really buckle down. Only because we get tough matchups, and every attack counts, and it's just like if we can all just go and understand the same rules and how we're doing it, we can keep being the clan we are, because we do have people that come in at all different times of the day, and it's not like how other clans would necessarily, like say, okay, like Bonnier talks about going top or bottom up. And I'm like, well, that just wouldn't quite work, given that some of our guys are in the UK and some of them, are on the West Coast, and some of them are, I think Shadow Tech is from Australia. He just joined today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we get a mix. So we've been buckling down on that. Some really cool people that, let me see. I always mean to shout L out all the time, but it always gets lost. Yeah, all the guys. Let me just quick. T-Skits, Matt, Snowtop, RM, 84, Mighty Buzzard, who's come in and he's from England and doing some cool, some good attacks, and is a good member. And I kind of like it that we've got some UK guys, because then they're in at the different times. But now we're negotiating the war start time a little bit more.
Have you seen any unique? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. And let me just quick say Sasquatch always, Minnow Bobby, Hellbringer, Wild Streak, Cerbatavis, Dizzy Devil's back, PWN's back, Tip Dog's back for this war.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Octagon.
Yeah.
Wade is over. Stretch. I'm in the clan now. Mini Man's got his Mini Mailman. And a bunch of other, and I'll get to the other guys next time. I don't want to keep going with it, but everybody's awesome. I'm having a good time. I think the game is as fun as it's ever been. But what were you going to say?
Well, just because you brought him up, when I first came over to the K-Fam, Sass helped me a ton with my attacks. I mean, a ton. Like, when I first came over there, my idea is attacks is what I would call spamming them now. And he helped me a ton with those things. Yeah, like, but I can't.
He said something really cool the other night, because he was one of the guys who's always attacked late in the war. And, he's a TH9, but he said something about it. He comes in, but we can always count on him to show up. Like he shows up at the end and he takes a base and he just does great attacks. And he's got a couple different accounts. Like he's over in the SOAS clan with a different account. So it's cool to see him attack, at a different level. And he helps a lot with the clans. And in fact, I'm really excited because we were going to record tonight, but we're going to record Tuesday night instead.
Oh, cool.
So, just because it was going to get late. So we're going to record, and I heard him on the SOAS podcast, and I'm excited to ask him more about his attacks and how he does it, because I see that so much in the TH9s that are going up against hard TH9s, those weird troop mix-ups, the comps that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. If you've seen any like weird comps that have been working lately, even in Town Hall 10s, and I'm always curious to see something just out of the box that worked.
Well, I think we kind of talked about like Bazinga doing the two golems and then two pig dogs So I've been seeing people do less minions on a pig dog attack. Oh man, and it's like you see so many during the course of it where you go. I've seen some really great hog attacks. The wait was over was using hogs and balloons.
I like that name.
The wait is over.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool name. But he was trying out some balloons and hogs on the last war, and it's when certain attacks work, they just work really well, and it's hard because like I haven't practiced much with certain comps. Worm took a giant wizard thing. I think I saw somebody use a golem and then a giant to do the stuff. It's just little things, and it comes down to like the CC planning, or it's like Dr. Octagon has been taking in some giants and then a few Velks and then a few of these little things. But what he pays attention to, and I think we should more, is, you can throw out a couple archers and take a few % right off the top.
Oh, yeah.
And I think like when you're in a TH10, you're thinking so much about that troop space and getting the TH that you sometimes forget about just even, and T-Skits does this, takes just a couple archers to maybe eke out that last %. So, yeah, but I guess I don't know. I need to write these down as they come through, because 3 wars in a week, you see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And just watching the enemy do stuff on YouTube, it's like crazy. So,
and you guys and Elle are doing 3 wars a week?
Yeah, we really started to. Oh, we've been doing a weekend fun war but then when Perk started, we're like, well, we got to get to clan level 3, like start to want to get that XP. And then we've done a couple. This one was going to be like a TH8 war this weekend, but
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just do like all. But then Matt did the roster, and then he threw in like a TH10. Dr. Octagon was in it. I think that was the only TH10. A couple 9s and then 8s. But then, and I felt bad about it right afterwards because a couple people that weren't there when we were kind of talking about it, and they said, they were hoping to war. And so, so that's, I think for a while we'll probably just do, all right, feel free to opt out for the weekend war or opt in. And now that we're in clan level 3 and there's a lot of XP to go, it's like you can kind of take it slow and maybe do some of more of the, all right, try different attack type things. And it seems like we do really well when people are trying new attacks for the most part. And I think that made me wonder about you guys, because if you go your mirror across and you're trying to hit with new different armies, you work through the strategy a little bit more, most likely. And then, and when we do it and people are kind of pushing themselves in different ways, all of a sudden it was like, okay, we're winning the wars, and you think it would just be kind of a free for all, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's like that is another thing. We really try to push people to do like something they're thinking about doing, because, in a war, you're reluctant to do it because you don't want to fail the attack. But we really try to push people to try out something new that they've been wanting to.
And it's working.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously, like, I don't want to jinx you for your 15th war, but your 16th war, but
yeah, and Cruel actually brought up today that he's gonna start just doing the Quadlunians, and because I'm not great at that. It's something I've been practicing, but I just don't have it down. And so he wants to tailor that so he can really help people with air, because we really don't have just like a strictly air person there when somebody has a question.
Cool.
So he wants to just tailor that down really well so he can really help people with that, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I have been wanting to do more, to be more specialized, so I can do the quad loon, especially when I've been working with it, like pushing and things. I'm like better at it. But then the giant Velk attack, I kind of want that to be my like specialties, like, and I'd like to see that more in the clan of people practicing certain attacks so we can kind of, know where people could hit. But, wanting people to try new things at the same time. So that's a weird balance. But DJ 007 went and did a quad attack the other day, and it was just awesome. And then I tried to do it and blew it because he sent him in at different angles and dropped the loons on the backside of the base, and it was awesome. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So
now, do you lure the CC when you use them?
In the wild, no. But now, now I am, I think, because I think the last war I went in, it was last week, and we were all waiting, trying to figure out where we were going to go. It was really close war. And I went out because my troops weren't quite right, and I went back in with like 15 seconds left on the timer. And I was like freaking out to get in there. And so I don't remember if I lured, because if you get all wizards, sometimes like it depends, I think, on where the clan castle is. Because if I can keep the loons, if the CC, the queen, are on the opposite side of where I'm coming in, then I can hope that she shoots them down, or that the CC shoots them down, and then like takes out the TH. So it kind of depends. I was never big into luring, and now the last couple wars I'm seeing the benefits of it. In those other attacks, like
I was asking because it seems like that's what's messing up mine.
the luring.
Yeah. When I haven't lured with the quadrilunion, for some reason it's just I get smashed. They just follow me around.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised because like in the wild, I could be out doing it, and in wizards or something will come out, and I'm not even really freaking out. But in war, it's like, I think maybe it's people have more smartly placed the CC because they're not guarding against loot, and so all the storages are in different spots. It's set up more to to protect the TH. Some of those CC placements have been killer. Like if it's on this side of the wall, this far away from the TH, and you come at it, you just can't get to the witch, and it's been rough. But I think next time I would lure, especially if you've got minions in there. That's the problem. Is if you know there's going to be minions in the CC and you're going to do a quad dog, those minions will destroy the balloons.
Yeah. And one other thing, have you noticed the skeletons being way more of a pain?
Yes, I have.
I mean, they have been... Today I watched these skeletons just ruin a hog raid. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the hell is going on with these skeletons?
I know what you mean. Because I think it was a few weeks ago, I started seeing them, like, drag attacks go really weird because minions followed the skeletons across the board. Just weird things. I kind of think it's because people started seeing how good that they were, and I think it was even somebody in our clan. I don't know if it was DJ or if it was Dirty Pirate, or I can't remember. But they said, "Oh, I forgot that I haven't upgraded my skeletons," and so we had been seeing all these things going, and I think people are just starting to go, I'm going to level these up. Because at first it didn't seem like they really did much, or if they were on air or ground. But like now I have all mine on ground because it seems like if you're getting hit by the air from the air attack, they're not going to really do that much damage. But when you drop your heroes, those skeletons are going to come out, and they pull heroes in weird ways, and they slow them down. Like when your king gets trapped by a few of them, or you can use them to, if they're by your infernos, the king's going to have to stand there a while longer, destroying the skeletons while the inferno's on them.
Right.
So yeah. It's weird. But you've noticed that?
I have. You might be right that it's just people are leveling them up more now. And you're absolutely right, though. I've seen them cause a ton of problems.
Yeah.
And today in our war, I watched him do that to that hog raid, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, then I watched some skeletons destroy some archers on the outside, and these archers just could not kill them fast enough.
Yeah, and I saw a king the other day, and maybe I missed the memo on this, but I saw this king go way away from his base on these hogs. Like, he broke the tether and was following these hogs. And that's why I wonder sometimes with everything happening in the game and the way people are playing it right now. And I think, with the defenses, and because the walls became, you can put your elixir into them now, you're seeing way more high level walls on TH9s in our wars, and where it's like, okay, it's all of a sudden makes problems, and like it just not something you would have seen that much before. Some people would have done it, but it was much rarer to have super high walls. But what happens when Supercell changes the algorithm to count walls?
Yeah,
I think about how much the king and queen have changed. So with something like walls and war matchups, it would be a simple matter for them to say, okay, walls are going to factor in because we're seeing such high level walls in these matchups. To adjust for the change in the economy because of that. Because you could dump the elixir into walls at TH once you have those level 8 walls. Is a TH9, and so they're maxing out their bases and dumping all their elixir into it. And it makes...
Yeah, that's actually...
it just makes it harder.
That's actually what I'm doing right now is I'm just going from the purple right to Lego. Okay. I'm just skipping the skulls completely.
You're just going upgrade? Or like doing one at a time, or how are you...
5 million apiece. I'm doing the 500,000 for skull, and then the million for the...
You cut out right at there. What did you first start saying?
So it's cost me 1.5 million a wall because I'm just going right from purple to Lego. So. And
what are you using? Are you using elixir?
I'm using whatever I have more of. I'll do the 500,000 of gold, and then I can use either elixir or gold. So whatever I have more at the time, I'll because right now I'm doing well. I did break away from it for a week to get my air defense up because my air defense was low.
Okay.
So I did start 3 of those, but right now I'm just working on my heroes and my walls. So I want to get all those the Legos and my heroes up to. I think it'll. Probably.
It's such a hard thing to think about.
Yeah, probably 15, I think, and then I'll get the rest of my stuff done. But like we were talking about before, real quick, with the expos, I actually brought them to level 3, and I was gonna bring them to 4, and I realized how little of amount they go up.
Yeah, it's only 80 damage per second, I think, on the 4.
It's crazy. So I mean, for the amount of money there was so many other things I wanted to do rather than because the jump from 2 to 3 was pretty significant. But the jump from 3 to 4 was basically they look red and nice now, and that's it.
Yeah, let me see here. Damage per second's 80. They do have high hit points. That's one.
Do they get a lot? Do you know if they get a big jump on that, or is that just a little bit too? I don't know off the top of my head. I can.
I know I'm at 8. Like I'm at X. I'm in level 4, and they're at 80. Let me see what the. Yeah, like the hit. The one good thing about them is the hit points are 2,700. So they're gonna.
Oh, so they're 400 more than my level 3. Mine are 2,375 damage per second.
Okay, see, so it only goes up 5, and each of the wizard towers and the cannons usually go up like 11 or something like that. But I mean, I think that I could see the next piece on this board because they've done in the last year. They've done a new Tesla level. They've done a new mortar. They've done 1 or 2 new archer levels, and then a new cannon level. So I could see it. I could see it being an expo, and I could see it being. I could actually see it being air defense because the quad dogs.
I could see there. I could definitely see the. But yeah, either one of those. I could definitely see air defense going up 1. Do you think if they do that, they will make it? Do you think if they do another air defense, they will make another dragon level? Because dragons are really obsolete that high up.
Yeah,
they seem like.
Yeah, that's why I wonder if they would actually do another level on the stuff without first introducing a new level of dragon, because that way people would be using it more, and then they could bump up a level on the air defense to make it harder. Because you'd want to see how people used it or the ways they'd be able to, I think. I don't know. It's crazy. So I'm working on I've been really torn about getting my last 2 air defenses up to max or working on my cannons. And so I've got 1 cannon going right now, my queen upgrading. And, the cannons are the cheapest, but the one thing I think about with them is I always get hit with ground in war. So I'm like, if I can get a few of those done, that might actually help my war defense more than my air D. Because even upgrading it, it only gets 40 more damage per second to the final thing. So I don't know. That's been a real okay, or should I be doing my archer towers to max? And I'm just like, one of my thoughts is like it's gonna take me a little bit longer to get up to there because it's like 7.5 mil versus 6.5 to get them to. My cannons aren't max; they're like 2 below max. They're 11.
Do you like the new look of the? Do you like the new max cannon look?
Not really.
I don't either.
No, it's kind of weird looking. But yeah, if you get hit with ground, and people don't really pay attention to that, I don't think so much, or not afraid of it. But if you've got all of your cannons each one adding 10 more damage to your ground troops, that makes, and it's easier to get to the 6.5 because then all of a sudden people are just smashing you because that you've got so much gold. Right. I can get them going, get my other defenses to like be more solid and to protect the gold more. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of stuff lately about defenses, war matchups, heroes, walls, and whether or not I should be upgrading my defenses or working solely on my walls.
What are your walls like right now?
I was just looking at that. I've been doing good actually because I've got 9 level 7s. I did do a few of those. I've got 100 because I want to keep them in case they are a weak point. Like I could use them as bait for certain troops. I have 123 level 8s and 118 Legos.
Wow.
So what I've been doing is whatever I'm saving for. So if I'm going for gold, I keep one resource really low. And then my elixir, my dark elixir is priority number 1. And now I've been working on defenses. So I've been keeping my elixir every time I get enough to do a wall. And then I have like 500, like about 1,500 dark or elixir. Then I dump a mill into the wall. And so after the pushes that we have done, and, keeping my resources low in those while pushing, and then when I was holding on to so much dark elixir for my queen, I was just keeping things low by dumping them into walls at that point, and like dark elixir above everything else. So
that's a good idea. So you only leave a little bit in one. So if somebody, because I usually don't hit people that only have, unless it's a crazy amount of 1 in there.
Yeah.
Like gold rather than gold and elixir with a bunch of them in there.
Well, yeah, because if you're in whatever range you're in, if you like, I notice people just go nuts for gold. So so if I can keep my elixir down enough while I'm saving for gold, their armies and spells are gonna cost a lot. So they're gonna have to really want the gold. And then with my TH outside, the people that really just want to get to TH and go, they'll look at my camp and go, okay, there's not enough elixir, but I'll just take the TH and go. So that's what I've been trying to do. And it's working because then I'm getting some of my walls done. And I redesigned my camp and I had enough for all the interior walls. It worked out really, really nicely. And with a new design, I know where the walls that I'm upgrading are going to really benefit. Some of them are more decorative, but.
Real quick, man. We got our matchup.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so it looks pretty good. They're pretty brave. They put their war record on. They're 7-5.
Wow.
They actually put war record 7-5. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's cool. They actually put their win and losses on there.
Yeah, I wonder what you guys should put up yours.
Yeah.
What, 14 and 1 and 0? That's what it would be?
Yep. 14-0-1. Yep. Well, 14-1-0.
Hey, we're running at about 1:30, so we should probably wrap up. Is there any final thoughts? Anything that we didn't get to that you?
Yeah, the only thing I just wanted to give a couple shout outs to the House of None.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't talk about a whole lot, but I will.
Next time.
I want to. Yeah. So I wanted to give a shout out to the co-leaders over there, Zwerg. I think I'm saying that right. And Chunky Ninja. And I want to thank Vadlag. It's actually account 4 over there for helping me out and taking the leader's hat for the time so I can go around and see the rest of the family. And I also want to give a shout out to Xlore, who has 2,000 donations over there, who's
nice.
Helping out people too. And just everybody over there that's helping everybody farm and keeping all the farmers going and keeping everybody's troops donating so they can do what they want over there.
I think it's been pretty cool too to see people traveling around to the families and people will come and even when I went to SOAS, a bunch of the K fam stopped in there, so it was pretty cool.
I gotta go over to SOAS again. I went over there before, but I was only over there for like one war, and I bombed it, man. It was when my Town Hall 8, and it was terrible. So I got to go back over there another time for another war with them to actually do a good attack.
Redemption attack.
Yeah, man, it was bad.
Well, one other thing, I guess, you'll hear this mentioned. If you are going to shop Amazon, go to our site and just all you have to do is it's on the side widget, or if you're on a phone, it's on the bottom. You just go in there, and if you're going to shop Amazon, you're going to buy some stuff, just go to our site first, visit Amazon through our site, and then whatever you order over the next 24 hours, a part of your purchase goes to support the podcast. So it doesn't cost you anything different. It just it's a way that you can help the podcast by doing nothing more than taking a stop on your way to the Amazon store. So it's an affiliate program. So if you're doing that, if you know you're going to be buying stuff, like come on through the site and help support the podcast and get some new equipment and everything. So House of L Jr. just started. If you're looking for a clean clan, younger, like 18 and younger clan, you can head there. I think it's going to be cool to see how that works out and how they do. The K-Fam, any other shout outs? Kratos?
No. I think I got everybody I can think of. I want to thank you for having me on, man, and just everything that the K-Fam does.
Oh yeah, you'll have to come back too, and I want to get the leaders of the families on more often, just because it is such a big community, and there's always stuff going on that I don't see.
You guys are approaching
or I hear about.
200 now.
What's that? 200 members?
I think you guys are. I think so, right? You guys are around. Are you guys over that now, or are you right around?
Well, I could imagine with all the different clans, yeah, we must be. And then the line environment, even people that have left are still hanging out and
it's cool.
Yeah, it's been a really cool community, and so there's so much going on, and thank you for sending me in, like, when you the shout outs for some of your contests and things like that. That's great, because it's so I'm going to have leaders on more often. So well, thank you for being here, man, and get a hold of us at WBSMT Radio on Twitter, ClashClansPodcast.com. Go there if you're going to do some Amazon shopping, and questions or comments at ClashClans@gmail.com or 42427-CLASH, and we're going to get to voicemails one of these days. We just run behind on them and then try to catch up. But so, do you have a Twitter or anything that you want to shout out?
No, actually, I don't, man. I have God of Go Wee Wee at gmail.com, and that's it.
God of Go Wee Wee?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you ought to. It's pretty funny though, when that's the only one, and you have to put a job application in.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I gotta get a new one going.
Well, yeah, and you can stop by House of Non, Peer Farming Clan. I don't know, is Project Cadmus recruiting?
Anybody's more than welcome to come over. We're 24/7 war, and anybody's welcome to come over. Doesn't matter what town hall you are. If you get along with everybody and you want to just war, come on over.
Cool. And I cannot wait to hear your war record.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
If you win, I mean, who knows how long you can keep going. So,
yeah, I mean, I can't. The guys are doing awesome over there, and hopefully we just keep getting. Really can't see a whole lot of matchups harder than the one we had today. So
that's awesome. Well, so it's good though. You keep going. It'll be cool, and then we'll put up something on the website for the holder of Wars 1 or something.
Cool.
But yeah, thanks, man. So keep it clashy, everybody.
Yeah, keep it clashy.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.